Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a few different eyeshadow looks. I got a couple requests to do some eyeshadow looks, and then I also got a couple requests to do something with the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I'm going to be trying to incorporate all of that here in this one video, so we will go ahead and get started. The first look I'm going to do is going to be, I'm going to try to recreate the look that I did for that Buzzfeed, or that was in that Buzzfeed article, which I'll insert a picture of here. That was a while ago, so I don't exactly remember what I did, but I'm going to try my best to recreate it as much as possible. So I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is available at Sephora. And we're going to be focusing on, you can see it's like more of like a pinky red palette. So we're going to be focusing on like these purples here and this kind of like section over here. So first we're going to start off with the transition shade. So to kind of set the whole look up to be a cool tone look, we're going to use a cool tone transition shade. So I kind of mentioned this in my my last video if you watched it. Because I have hooded eyes and I have a little bit smaller eyes, I like to place things above my crease. So right here where my eye like naturally like creases, that's where we want to focus our transition shade. So something that's a little bit softer and not kind of like the focus of the show, and will kind of blend away later on. So we're gonna take this purple shade, it's called like Buon Fresco or something. I don't exactly know how to pronounce it, but we're gonna take this and just dip that on the brush. And then I have my mirror right here, so I'm going to be looking at that to do this look. So just place it right here in this eye, and then we're going to move that in like circular and then windshield wiper motion. So the small circles will help to blend all the colors together, and then the windshield wiper like going back and forth on the actual eye will help to just disperse the color overall. So focus when you first set your brush in the pan and you have the most color, top off or shake off a little bit of the excess, and then you first want to touch the outer corner of your eye. That's where you want all your most dark colors to be, is out here in the corner. And then once there's less and less product on the brush, you can move more towards the in, because what we're going for this look in most eyeshadow looks is going to be a blown out lighter on the inside to make your eyes look wider, and then once we move out, you want it to be darker so that your eyes are looking like bigger and like more like far set, I guess is a good way to say that. So yeah, we'll just build this color up, and I'll go ahead and speed through me doing the rest of this, and I will be back to narrate the next part. Okay, so now that we have that color down, you can see it just gives a little bit of definition. Like obviously the purple color is there and you can see it, but it's not gonna be by any means like kind of like the center of the show or anything like that. But it is looking just a little bit kind of like unblended and choppy, like right in here. So to help combat that, I'm gonna take more of a neutral like transition shade. So I'm gonna take Warm Taupe here in the bottom and just buff that around the edges to kind of make everything a little more smooth and seamless. So just right here to kind of soften everything up and diffuse out that purple color. I think next we're gonna go in with another color in our crease. And I'm using, so my first brush, sorry, I'll talk about that a little bit. So you don't have to have these exact brushes. Pretty much any brushes are gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna turn this light off because it's weird light. So this is a fluffy brush. It's from a Sonia Kashuk like limited edition collection. That's where I get pretty much all of my brushes. At Target, they have those like, pretty often they have like 10 packs of Sonia Kashuk brushes. They're really, really good brushes, and if you just invest in them, they're like $40. You have pretty much any brush you're going to need. Over the years, I've bought like a few different collections. I have this cup of brushes and I have this cup of brushes. So this is a more fluffy brush, you can see. And then this one is a little bit more, maybe, or not. This one is a little bit more slim, a little more tapered, and this is a little more fluffy. So this is the first one I always use. I always go in with this exact brush, and then next, to kind of like get a more precise color application, I'll go in with this smaller one. So we're gonna take this one next. And we're gonna go in with just a little bit, I think it was Venetian red. So this color down on the bottom here, we're gonna take just a little bit of that very, very lightly, like literally just barely tap and tap off the excess. And we're gonna go down a little bit lower in the crease, not trying to stay away from like above the crease like we did with the last color, and just right where your eye creases, place that Venetian red color. We have a live studio audience today. Everyone say hi to Shelly. Oh my god, I'm not flexible. So now that we have that color done, you can see it just kind of deepens up the crease a little bit and makes it so that my eyes, the part that's blank right now, looks a little bit more forward, and the part that's right here looks a little bit more back. Next, we are going to go in with a lid color. So we're gonna take Vermeer. So it's like this cool toned shimmery shade. So we're gonna put that on the lid. And I believe what I did, I think I got my brush wet. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna come back and I'll explain why I'm doing that. So what this is gonna do, I'm gonna take Vermeer, that shade that I was talking about earlier, and just dip into that and then place that right on my lid. So what getting the brush wet does is it's really gonna help shimmery shades kind of bring out more of their pigment. So it's gonna make them pop a lot more. So you place it I go right up to my inner corner here, and then kind of like right where all this darkness is on the outer corner, that's where I start to like just have a little bit lighter of a hand, and then just kind of like blend that softly into the darker shadows on the side. But we are going to finish off the outer corner. So for this, I'm gonna take another more fluffy brush. This one is a little bit more tapered, so it's gonna pick up a little bit more color. So I'm gonna go into Love Letter, which is this pink shade right here, and just pick up a little bit of that on the tip of my brush, tap off the excess, and then just work that right into the outer corner out here. Just to help deepen it up and add a little bit more of that purple, and help tie everything together here. So I have two different shaped eyes. That's like fairly common. So a lot of the times, just because of the way I place my brush, my eyes tend to look just a little bit different. So you saw that this one kind of got a little bit away from me. It got a little more blown out. And so what I do to combat that, it's a really common problem I have. So this one, I'll like get it all nice, whatever, and then I'll go and do this one and it gets a little bit farther up. So instead of like wiping everything off, I just go back to this eye and just right here on the outer corner, just blend it a little bit out like this, very light hand, holding the brush pretty far away from the brush head, and just wiggling that just so there's a little bit more color on the outside to help it look a little bit more symmetrical. And then the last step, we are gonna take a smaller, more dense brush. This is from e.l.f. I got this at Target like in high school, I think, and it was like $1. It's just like a little fluffy pencil brush. So we're gonna go into this, this dark brown shade, Cypress Umber. Just tap a little bit into that, tap off the excess, and then a little bit more even in that Love Letter shade. Just tuck it right here, right where the eye creases to help just define it even more. And working very, very gently with dark colors. You don't want to add too much too fast. You can always build it up. So now that that's done, I'm just gonna go in with one of the fluffy brushes. I'll take one of the last ones that we use, this one that we use with Love Letter, and just blend all of these edges together just to make sure there's no harsh lines.
So no additional color on the brush, just blend it out.
So yeah, that is the finished look for the top. Bottom lash lines are pretty much all the same. My general rule is just take a flat top brush like this and just blend it really close to the lash line. So I'm gonna take Cypress Umber, excuse me, and just blend that really, really tight to the lash line here.
And this one I can't see that well, so I'm gonna use my small mirror.
And focus that on the outer third of the eye. Don't bring that in too much because then it's gonna get closed off. But if you are keeping it more on the outer third, it's gonna help really open the eyes up and work with those dark colors that you put on top to keep your eyes open and looking bigger. Now that that color is down, I'm gonna take this like pencil brush here. It's a little bit more fluffy, it's not that flat top, and take the next lighter color that we used on the top and put that on the bottom. So that would be the second darkest color would be Love Letter. So I'm just gonna tap into that a little bit here and just run that right under the brown to help blend that out. And this you can take in just a little bit farther than the brown and help get kind of like a gradient effect. Okay, so now that that's down, we'll take one more, and I'll take like more of a small fluffy brush, just size-wise. This is good for the lower lash line, and we're gonna take the lighter color, the lightest color that we use, so Buon Fresco, it's that plum like transition shade, and just run that all the way along the bottom to help blend out any harsh edges or lines. I'll do my liner and mascara on camera just so you can kind of see what I do. So for eyeliner, I like the NYX Collection Liquid Black Liner. It's just like the matte one. And what I do, I need more of a close-up mirror for this because I'm not that good yet, is I take my pencil or my like flick, and I just start right here at the corner of my eye and draw a line out, and then right where that line like really thins out, so not quite at the end but almost, I'm gonna set my brush and draw a line in. And I can't talk because it's gonna mess up my hand placement, so just watch what I'm doing. So you can see that, and then from there I'll go to the inner corner and meet those two lines up, and then fill those kind of like outlines that I have in. And if the end needs to be evened out, if it's looking a little jagged, you can definitely do that. So yeah, that is that. So yeah, that is liner. I think they're pretty, yeah, they're mostly even. Honestly, I don't know if there's like a time where they're exactly 100% even. All right, so now that my eyeshadow is dry, I'm gonna go in with my mascara. I use the L'Oreal Telescopic in Blackest Black.
I usually do my bottom lashes first.
So just wiggle it at the base and then drag down. And then for my top lashes, I always make sure that I coat the tops of my lashes. So not just the bottoms, but going on top of them. So that's usually the first thing I do, is like placing it right here and then just wiggling and like usually like spinning my brush so that they get coated on the top. That's really gonna help make a difference in like how thick and how black your lashes look, is if you do it on the top. So then I'll usually dip one more time and just really work it through and just blink, wiggle, and coat. The Lax boys are moving in next door, so they're talking like right outside my window if you can hear them. But just, you know, just a couple of, just guys being dudes. All right, so I think that's pretty good. So this is look number 1 completed. So this isn't something I would wear, obviously I wouldn't wear this every day. This is something I would wear for like a night out or going to a wedding or something like that. So the next look I'm gonna show you, I think I'm gonna do my like kind of go-to easy glam smoky eyes. So I will go ahead and wash this off and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back. I wiped off my mascara, my liner, and then I like reconcealered and powdered my eyes to prep them for my eyeshadow next. So the next look, we're going to be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Our first part of the look, we are going to be going in with that same brush that I was using, that fluffy brush, and we're going to be going into this transition shade, this this peachy transition shade right here, and just tap into that and go right in the crease of the eye. So once that's down, you have a little bit of definition, and obviously you can see that it is like melony orange on my eyes, but it's not super noticeable, especially when we add other colors. So the main reason for that is just to help blend out the other shadows that we're going to be putting down. So next, same black skinny brush. I got this from Walmart. It's like the Makeup Lab 2 Just Blending In brush. I don't know if they have this anymore, but just a something similar shape. And we're gonna tap into that same shade that I used for my eyebrows. Tap off the excess, and we're gonna put that just a little bit lower, just like we did that second color in the first eye look that I did. So I do a lot of the same ideas, just with different colors and different palettes. So once you kind of get this technique down and an eye for like what colors should go where, eyeshadow can really become a lot easier. And honestly, all I can emphasize is just practicing and practicing and practicing. So yeah, that's just a little bit more definition in there. And then I'm gonna take that same, I use the same brushes over and over and over again. Same brush, just a little bit more fluffy as in the last eye look. And then we're gonna go into this like red shade right here and put that in the outer corner. So one thing that is a little bit different from this eye look than the last one is that in the last one, instead of going in with this darker color on the outer corner, I put my shimmery color down. That kind of just depends what I'm doing. In this one, all I'm gonna be doing on the lid is just a really kind of like soft wash of like a bone colored shadow, just to kind of bring more emphasis back to my lid. So I don't really need like a lot of blending. It doesn't really take a lot of time, and it's pretty easy to work with. So I like to get the outer corner down and kind of see what I'm working with before I put down that shadow. If I was doing a shimmery shadow on my lid, I would probably have done that between the last step that I did and the step that I'm doing right now. I'm gonna go in and do my lid color. So I just go in with my finger and place this white shade on my lid, just here, super easy, and just kind of like blend this edge right here. You can just even blend that with your finger. Going in, same e.l.f. brush, going in with another darker color. So I usually will alternate between like this brown here and this brown here. Today I'm feeling a bit more warm tone, so I'm gonna go in with this one, tap it off, and just tuck it right in this corner here, right where the eye meets kind of like the outside of your socket, and just define that. And this brush isn't super great for blending, so once I like kind of place the color down, I like to go back in with that brush that I used before and just blend it out. You can pick up a little bit more of that red shade and just blend those colors together. Last step, so for this one, it's totally optional. You can definitely leave it like this, but I'm going to add some black. I like to go in with this Sonia Kashuk brush. It's just a little kind of tapered, small, little bullet brush, I guess is a good way to describe it. It's pretty dense, but it also has a little bit of flexibility to it. So I'll just very lightly, especially with this black in this palette, it's very pigmented and you can go overboard pretty fast. Just like tap into it, get off that excess, and just tuck that right in here.
Just give a little bit more definition. So you can see it like really adds just a little extra, really kicks the look up. Same thing over here.
Just if you tuck that black in over there, and then because this brush is a little bit more dense, you're not gonna wanna blend out with this, so I will go in usually with this like small blending brush, and just with no additional product on here, just wiggle that back and forth and blow out the edges just to keep everything looking more seamless. And there you go, that is look number 2. I would do the same liner and mascara steps and the same lower lash line routine. I would use the black as my darkest shade, the brown as my second darkest shade, and then maybe add a little bit of the red as well, and maybe mix these two together, and then smoke as the lightest shade to blend everything out, use this orange shade. So for my last look, I'm gonna be doing more of like just a straight brown, classic smoky eyes. So I'm gonna be using the Lorac Pro Mega 2 palette for this one. So I'm gonna go in with a mixture of Tawny and Burlap, these two shades up here, on that same Sonia Kashuk pink fluffy brush that I use every single time. So just mix those two together, tap off the excess right in the crease here. So because this is a bit more dramatic, I'm thinking in my head it's gonna be, I did add a little bit more in the crease, color-wise and like darkness-wise, that I would if it wasn't a more dramatic look. So next, guess what brush we're gonna use? Same black brush that we always use as a second step. And next, let's see, we might have to dip into another palette here. So
No, don't say bye. Hold on. Just hold on.
Eric, I'm filming. My battery's about to die. I have to finish. Bye. Okay, bye. So we're gonna go in with this. We'll take this brown shade here and put that in the crease. I'm gonna pick up Penny, this kind of pewtery shade on my finger, and just put that on the lid. And then one last shade. I'm gonna take that small fluffy brush I used for the last one and put Saddle, this darker brown, just right in the corner to add some definition. And this is the finished look. I would do the same liner, mascara, and lower lash routine that I did for the other two looks. So yeah, these are 3 looks, eyeshadow looks. I hope you found something that you could at least adapt into your look. If you aren't comfortable doing any of these, hope you at least found a helpful tip. DM me on Instagram, text me, let me know what you want to see, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.